Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We are reaching you live from our studio in Abuja. My name is Blessing Abu. The headlines. President Buhari expresses optimism that Africa-Turkey partnership will foster sustainable development. Minister of Information eulogizes President Buhari at 79, describes him as a man dedicated to service of the nation and humanity. And cash crunch hits commercial banks in Kebbi State. President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed conviction that the Africa-Turkey partnership will set both parties on the path to sustainable development. He attributed this optimism to what he called the genuine openness, trust and commitment manifested in their cooperation. This was at the third Africa-Turkey Partnership Summit in Istanbul, the Republic of Turkey. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has details.
The Turkey-Africa Partnership Summit, organized by President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, had in attendance 16 heads of state and government, as well as over 100 ministers in charge of key sectors of their country's economies. Themed Enhanced Partnership for Common Development and Prosperity, the summit was aimed at carrying forward the strategic ties between Turkey and the continent of Africa to a new stage. Addressing participants, President Muhammadu Buhari said given the increasingly unpredictable nature of contemporary global challenges facing mankind, well-being of humanity must remain at the center of their agenda for the common good and prosperity of all.
We must therefore promote science, technology, and innovation, and share knowledge from research and development to better equip us to address present and future challenges in a more equitable and sustainable manner. The Turkey-Africa Strategic Partnership has become an integral part of our foreign policies, and the notable milestones recorded since the inception of this partnership attest to this. Not only has there been mutual support to respond to the pandemic, but also mutual support to build resilience and sustainable development in other sectors.
President Buhari was also delighted that due consideration was given to the issue of terrorism, saying in the Lake Chad Basin, for instance, Boko Haram, though fragmented and degraded, is still active and preying on soft targets.
We call upon our partnership to provide concrete support to help defeat terrorism and insurgency on the African continent. Another area this partnership was focused on is the global challenge of climate change, which is affecting us in Nigeria, Turkey, across Africa, and indeed across the world. It has become a catalyst for conflict through food insecurity, drying up of lakes, loss of livelihood, and youth migration, among others. I want to seize this opportunity to appeal for support for initiatives such as Africa's Great Green Wall on environment and land management. The initiative aims to restore 100 million hectares of degraded land in the 11 countries of the Sahara Strip, capture 250 million tons of carbon, and create 10 million green by 2030.
Describing trade as an engine for development, sustained economic growth and poverty eradication, the president made a case for a significant increase in Africa-Turkey trade figures, leading to what he called a win-win for all countries, leveraging on African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. Meanwhile, a 5-year action plan as well as joint implementation report have been adopted towards enhancing the Turkey-Africa relations in critical economic sectors, including the concrete projects to be carried out before the next summit in 2026 for the benefit of the continent. From Istanbul, Turkey, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari was today started represented by Borno State's Governor, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, at the 63rd Independence Day celebration in Niger Republic. The event took place in Diffa town of Diffa province, with President of Niger Republic Muhammad Bazoum leading the national celebrations. Mohamed Goni reports.
Niger Republic commemorates its National Day on the 18th of December every year, with ceremonies attended by world leaders and their representatives. Every year, the celebration is hosted on rotational basis at regional capitals across the country, with this year's hosted in Diffa. Governor Zulum joined dignitaries that includes the Prime Minister of Chad, Alpad Pahimi, the Speaker of Niger Republic's National Assembly, Saidu Umar, Nigerian Minister of Defense Al-Qasim Indatu, and Governor of Diffa Province, Issa Lamin. This year's celebration had also conferment of national honors to 20 personalities. Before representing President Buhari at the Nigerian National Day, Governor Zulum was in Damasak, headquarters of Mabar local government area, where he distributed irrigation packs to 2,000 resettled farmers before moving into Diffa, which shares border with Damasak in Nigerian side of Lake Chad shores. Governor Zulum was accompanied on the presidential trip by the senator representing Northern Borno, Abubakar Kyari, Borno Assembly Speaker Abdul Karim Lawan, 2 members and officials of government. In Maiduguri, Mohamed Goni, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has been described as a man whose life is dedicated to unalloyed service to Nigeria and humanity. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed stated this at the media briefing in Ilorin, Kwara State, as he paid tribute to the president on his 79th birthday. Anthony Forson reports.
The Information and Culture Minister said President Muhammad Buhari has been almost everything there is to be in the service of the nation and has always given his all each time.
Has been as a soldier, as you know, a governor, a minister, a trust fund chairman, a military head of state, democratically elected president twice. He fought a war to keep Nigeria together, and that explains his passion for the country's unity.
He pointed out that President Muhammad Buhari is a steady hand in troubled times.
His various positions within and outside the military, his global exposure, his unmatched demeanor, and above all, his wisdom have all helped to stabilize Nigeria at the most difficult of times.
The minister chronicled some major achievements to include Nigeria's modern rail era, setting the country on the path of unprecedented infrastructural development. President Buhari built the second Niger Bridge, which his predecessors built on paper. Under President Muhammad Buhari, Nigeria got modern airport terminals. The school feeding program, which has increased school enrollment, is another achievement. In addition, the president institutionalized measures to fight corruption and putting Nigeria on the road to food self-sufficiency, just as he also saved states from collapse. He empowered jobless graduates and saw Nigeria through one of the worst pandemics in human history, with the economy still recording growth.
Like I said recently, his achievements may not seem too obvious now, especially with naysayers, sponsored attackers, and desperate opposition, unrelenting in their craft. But posterity will surely be kind to this man, whose life has meant service to his fatherland. A man who goes to bed at night and wakes up in the morning thinking Nigeria. I believe God has a reason for keeping him alive when many had written him off as dead. Happy birthday, Mr. President, and thank you for your service to the nation.
In Ilorin, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Bank customers and others alike in Birnin Kebbi are lamenting the acute shortage of cash in virtually all commercial banks, a development that has lingered on for more than a month now with no sign of abating. Abubakar Garba Digi tells us more.
The general role of commercial banks is to provide financial services to the general public and the businesses, and as well ensure economic and social stability and sustainable growth of the economy and the credit creation, especially to its host community. Unfortunately, it is no longer so in Birnin Kebbi, where the services of the banks in most of the time is epileptic owing to their inability to meet up with the customers' demand. What exactly is the situation is the question put to some customers. For about 1 month now, the customers in commercial bank here in Birnin Kebbi are suffering with the shortage of cash. People are going to the bank and the ATMs without having cash. This is one of the customers that went to the bank without cash. We are here with her. What's your name?
Precious.
What's happened when you go to the bank ATM?
It's wasn't dispensing cash.
In fact, many of the ATMs, it's not just one. Many, when it goes to different banks, they have to push you to the POS to get money, which is not supposed to be.
Bank in Kebbi State now, as I am talking, if you go to withdraw 1 million naira, you will not get it.
Most of the banks, I'm coming from 2 to 3 banks. I've checked Access Bank and UBA. Most of the banks, they don't have funds. Don't really know the cost actually.
The affected customers appeal to the authorities concerned to do all it takes to put a stop to the negative trend owing to the negative consequences on the general well-being of the citizens in Birnin Kebbi. Abubakar Garba Digi, NTA News.
In an effort to restore normalcy and reconcile aggrieved members of the All Progressives Congress in Niger State, an 11-man committee has been inaugurated. This is in a swift reaction to the suit filed in court by a group of disgruntled members of the party. The state APC chairman, Haliru Jikantoro, therefore appealed for the peace and assured that the party will continue to uphold tenets of internal democracy. Mukhtar Abubakar reports.
As part of the mandate of the reconciliatory team set up by the Niger State APC Working Committee is to go around the 25 local government areas of the state, identify and reconcile disgruntled members of the party.
Whoever is aggrieved in one way or the other, whatever way that person is aggrieved, this committee will reach out to that person or group of persons, interface with them, plead with them to come back to the party.
The state APC chairman reacts to the court case by some party members in the state alleging irregularities in the conduct of the October 16 State Party Congress.
Maybe they felt going to the court may be better for them, but I think it's not good. And very soon with this committee, that case, inshallah al-Karim, shall be withdrawn.
We follow the terms of reference judiciously, and first we identify genuine aggrieved members. So if when we're able to do that, then we proceed from there.
The conciliatory committee is expected to report back to the state working committee after 4 weeks from the date of its inauguration. In Mina, Mukhtar Wu, NTA News.
News at 10 is reaching you live from Abuja on NTA News 24. We'll be back with more stories after this time out. Thank you for staying with us on the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Now, across the globe, millions of people are affected by conflicts, epidemics, disasters, or exclusion from health care. Bridging this gap was why a group of humanitarian health workers gave birth to Doctors Without Borders 50 years ago. Ekene Duleo reports that the 50th anniversary of the organization was commemorated in Abuja.
In the late 1960s, a group of young French doctors witnessed the humanitarian crisis created by the Nigerian Civil War. Their experience in Nigeria inspired the establishment of Doctors Without Borders in 1971 to provide humanitarian assistance in countries with medical emergencies. The organization currently has intervention programs in 9 states in Nigeria, where conflicts and diseases have wreaked havoc on the local populations. These interventions are often in primary, pediatric and maternal health care, looking out for displaced persons as well as victims of sexual-based violence.
There are crises that people go through, especially in the context of conflict, the context of natural disasters, the context of disease outbreaks, and we perceive it as our duty to provide health care to people in distress in these situations.
A photo exhibition commemorating this anniversary vividly captures the hope on the faces of patients and the resilience of the health workers.
They don't know where to go, but if they come to us, we treat them free, they go out, they always appreciate it.
Insecurity that sometimes prevents us from reaching everywhere where we would like to help people.
Doctors Without Borders now has more than 45,000 humanitarian workers in 70 countries of the world. Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
The Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Hawal Gambo, has inaugurated regulating office and other projects at the Central Naval Command Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, to enhance the professional efficiency of officers and men. Ebinimi Zimitiola reports.
In line with our mandate to keep the nation's territorial waters safe, the Nigerian Navy from time to time harassed illegal oil bunkers and sea pirates. These suspects are investigated and detained before handing over to the appropriate prosecuting agencies. As a result of lack of standard detention facilities at the Central Naval Command, even high-profile suspects are detained in facilities of sister agencies, a situation that hampers smooth investigation. The inauguration of the befitting regulating office will serve as office for officers and men and detention facility for suspects.
So far so good. Central Naval Command has been doing very well in operations as visible in the last few weeks. The arrests that have been undertaken have just briefed the FOC on the expectations of the Naval Headquarters and the Defense Headquarters.
Also inaugurated was the reconstructed mast island, built to protect the command from erosion and add to the aesthetics. The Naval Chief was conducted around the Central Naval Command by the Flag Officer Commanding, Rear Admiral Obiwani Egbuchula, and the Commander NSRO, Commodore Patrick F.R. The command also performed the ceremonial sunset to mark the end of activities for the year and to reflect the great sacrifices of both the dead and the living in service to fatherland. Ebinimi Zitimiola, NTA News.
The fight against insecurity by the Joint Security Task Force in Imo State has resulted in the discovery of another kidnappers' den in Osu local government area of the state. Beatrice Aniam reports that the raid led to the recovery of the body of the traditional ruler recently kidnapped from his palace.
The joint operation is the second to be carried out in 1 week by the Security Task Force in Inquiry, Uda, in Osu local government area of Imo State. The Joint Security Task Force, acting on a tip-off, moved in here to foil attempts by the hoodlums to regroup. This exercise led to the recovery of over 10 decomposing bodies of kidnapped victims, including the traditional ruler of Ihiti Hube in Okigwe local government area of Imo State, Eze Paul Obu, and a youth leader who was kidnapped alongside Ezobu as identified by their family members.
In order to restore the dignity of the human persons that were grossly violated by the hoodlums, the state government through its health agencies accompanied the security forces to the camp this morning to excavate and exhume some of the bodies, and that is exactly what they have done, so that they could be given proper burial. All the forces were moved there, and the essence of their going there is to occupy that place.
Although the kidnappers had vacated the area just before the raid, the security forces have pledged commitment to finding them in order to ensure that peace returns to the area. In Owerri, Beatrice Anyam, NTA News.
From Owerri, we'll go over to the Cross River State capital. The Cross River State government wants the World Bank federal government task team on agro-processing productivity enhancement and livelihood improvement support appeals project to ensure adequate implementation of its project in the state. Deputy Governor of the state, Professor Ivara Isu, stated this while inaugurating the appeals mission in Calabar. Paul Abel reports.
Decrying the wanton destruction of property by the NSAS protest last year on appeals facility, Deputy Governor Professor Ivara Isu says the state has demonstrated capacity with the provision of agro-industries to enable farmers supply raw materials, and this will aid the implementation of the project in the state.
Are we promoting the well-being of the small and medium-scale farmers? Do we lack capacity for people to carry on these jobs? Please, tell us. We want this project to be sustainable.
The key players debunked their visit based on fault finding, but to ensure smooth implementation of the appeals project in the state.
To really assess and see how far has the project fared in terms of the implementation, meeting up with our target sets, and we must give account of how we're improving the lives of our beneficiaries. Are we changing their situation and to what extent?
The Deputy Governor also inaugurated the renovated facility of the appeals project. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24, live from Abuja. Let's take a quick look at the stories in our news. President Buhari expresses optimism that Africa-Turkey partnership will foster sustainable development. Minister of Information eulogizes President Buhari at 79, describes him as a man dedicated to service of the nation and humanity. Also brought to you the fact that cash crunch, I beg your pardon, hits commercial banks in Kebbi State. Thank you for staying with us still. Christmas is here again, and one of its unique features is a carol organized to remind humanity of the essence of the birth of Jesus Christ. Oluseyi Adiagbo captured the Redeemed Christian Church of God Peace Tabernacle Parish for his 2021 carols and reports on the mood.
As the commemoration of the birth of Jesus is annual, so also the service of 9 lessons and carols in this church, the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Peace Tabernacle Parish.
For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders.
He shall strike the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips he shall slay the wicked.
The night of songs interspread the 9 lessons that tell the story of the birth of Jesus Christ. Resident pastor of the church tells the congregation that God has a purpose for everything, and when COVID-19 ravages the world, Jesus Christ holds the key to enjoying peace.
The purpose of the birth of Jesus has been established even before Jesus came into existence. The Bible says he shall be the salvation of mankind.
All over the world today, we need peace. And Jesus is the Prince of Peace, and he's the reason for this season, and that's where we are celebrating him.
It was also a day to reward committed members of the church. And as the carol ushers the church into Yuletide, members were encouraged to hope for better days in 2022 for the church, individuals, and the nation. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
So much for really at seasons like this. That ends news at 10 on NTA News 24. We thank you for watching. Do remember the campaign against rape and rapists is still on. Join the NTA to stamp out the menace. My name is Blessing Abu. Thank you for watching.
You can watch us anywhere, anytime on the following platforms: